A very good evening to everyone present here. அனைவருக்கும் இனிய மாலை வணக்கம். We are all gathered here on this lovely evening to witness the inauguration of the Department of Medical Sciences and Technology at IIT Madras. Of course, this is a bigger milestone in the history of our institute. Let us begin the program with an invocation ceremony. May I now request everyone to rise for the Tamil Thai Vaazhthu, followed by Vande Mataram.
நீராரும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராரும் வதனமென திகழ்வரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் மதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரிதனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே. வந்தே மாதரம் வந்தே மாதரம் சுஜலாம் சுஃபலாம் மலயஜ சீதலாம் சஸ்யஸ்யாமலாம் மாதரம் வந்தே மாதரம் शुभ्रज्योत्स्नां पुलकितयामिनीं फुल्लकुसुमितद्रुमदलशोभिनीं सुहासिनीं सुमधुरभाषिणीं सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरम्.
Thank you. Before we start the program, may I now request Professor Kamakoti, Director of IIT Madras, the Chief Guest of the day, Sri Lakshmi Narayanan, Professor Bobby George, Professor Krishna Kumar to take up the seats in the dais. May I now request Professor Kamakoti to welcome the Chief Guest of the day with a bouquet and an Angavastram. I now request Professor Bobby George, founding head of this department and a faculty at IIT Madras, to welcome the gathering.
Respected Chief Guest, a key well-wisher of IIT Madras, Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan, co-founder, Cognizant Technologies, Professor Kamakoti, our director, IIT Madras, Professor Krishna Kumar, Chair Professor, IIT Madras, esteemed doctors, authorities of the medical institutions, members of the steering committee and international advisory committee, my dear alumni, colleagues, students, and all our friends from the press media, a very good evening to all of you. As you all know, today we mark the inaugural ceremony of the 17th Department of IIT Madras, the Department of Medical Sciences and Technology. In this event, our chief guest will inaugurate the official website of this department, The chief guest will also launch the new BS program in Medical Sciences and Engineering, which is a first of its kind in the country. As we know, Chennai being the health capital of India and IIT Madras being the top engineering institute in the country, it is quite natural that this interdisciplinary department, which combines medical sciences and engineering, has evolved in this campus. IIT Madras has a long tradition in biomedical domain. We already have highly established engineering and healthcare research ecosystem. Now, together with the leading medical doctors of India, who will be joining as professors of practice in the department, we are certain that we will achieve the goals of the department, which include training the next generation scientists and engineers with the necessary skills to advance the medical research. Also, integrating medical education and engineering to introduce innovative practices into the clinical settings. On behalf of the new department, I extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you in this historical moment in the medical sciences and technology revolution of our country. I would also like to use this opportunity to seek your blessings and guidance to make sure that this department not only fulfills the goals, but goes beyond the set expectations. Once again, welcoming all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Bobby George, for the warm welcome. Professor Krishna Kumar needs no introduction. He is well-known face for everyone in the institute. May I now request Professor R. Krishna Kumar to introduce the department to the gathering.
Yeah. Thank you, and good afternoon to the dignitaries in the dais and my doctors, my good friends, and the authorities from the hospital. I'm very glad that this has come true, a dream which I would say I've been dreaming for a very long time. I should give the complete credit to Professor Kamakoti. In fact, I'm not come as my close friend, so I need not put any soap to him. So this is the truth. So when he got the phone call at 3:30 to become the director of IIT Madras, at 3:45 he called me and said, "Sir, let us start this journey." So that is the, I would say, enthusiasm with which he pushed this Department of Medical Sciences. We would have launched it last year because it's, after all, it's an academic year, but we thought that we will take time to organize it completely. And I'm happy that we're able to do this in this year. We have a huge plan, so it's just a beginning. So I'll just go through a set of slides which gives you an overall picture of what this medical science is all about. So let's start the journey of medical science education at IIT Madras. Our website is mst.iitm.ac.in. More details are available there, maybe at the end of the talk or at the end of this program. If you want to check out, please do that. So what's our vision? To develop a world-class research environment and education in medical sciences and technology to produce well-trained physician scientists and technologists. So the key here is that physician scientists. There is a national need for physician scientists. There are not many medical schools which have physician scientists. One of the first to introduce is Sri Chitra very recently. And there are programs where MD, MS, PhD programs have been in existence. They've risen, gone down, and so on. But a consistent program is required to take the country forward. Because there are a number of India-specific needs for physician scientists. The first is that we have to develop a mechanistic understanding of the prevalent non-communicable diseases. Looks like we are the world leaders in non-communicable diseases. Develop effective treatment protocols based on science. My good friends, doctors here won't agree anything just based on data. AI, ML, and other things require basic science. Build capacity for biomedical devices. We rely completely on imports for biomedical devices. Then, regulatory bodies. Most important to get something out. Can we have frame relevant, effective healthcare policies and relevant regulatory body policies so that development becomes easy? Can we introduce more science into our regulatory bodies? Manpower in healthcare, AI, sensor technologies, control engineering. I can keep this list long. I just showed you 3 of them. But manpower in healthcare is very important for the future. So keeping all this in mind, we want to build a world-class program enabling innovation, which is by interactions between technologists and the clinicians. So we want to develop and sustain several medical interventions, including, of course not limited to, cause-effect analysis, medical devices and implants, treatment procedures, drug delivery system, automated healthcare delivery. On top of it, at 3:47 on that day, Professor Kamakoti said, "Sir, next 15 years lo ஒரே ஒரு Nobel Prize winning work, sir. That is what I want." So that's the passion with which at 3:45 he said we started, at 3:47 he said, ஒரே ஒரு Nobel Prize winning work. I think long due to us. And we hope, sir, we will make your dream come true. So what is our unique offering? Why should IIT Madras enter into this medical education? There are already so many medical universities, excellent medical colleges, some of them are here. So why do we need this? So we have some unique offerings because of our background, because of our long-standing association with biomedical engineering. Here is Professor Radhakrishnan, who is the first professor of biomedical engineering, probably in this country. Sir, thank you very much for coming. So, 1966, if I remember right, in 1966 he joined, and the great Dr. Valiathan was responsible for starting biomedical engineering in this institute, and this happened in 1959. So, that's the rich tradition IIT Madras has on biomedical engineering, and more than anything, it is our duty to see that we flourish in this area. So we have some unique offerings here if you consider this as an engineering institute entering into medical education. So IIT Madras and medical education, the research landscape is huge. It impacts the profession, the clinicians' professions. So I'm just going to list down a few of them. Surgical planning, minimally invasive surgery. Here is an expert from minimally invasive surgeries. For neuro, cardiac, digital twins and therapeutic planning. Artificial organs. People have been looking at it for a long time. We'll see that in a minute. Stroke research and rehabilitation. Artificial kidney membranes for ultrafiltrations. Robotic surgery. Fracture healing, regrowth, remodeling, and implant device designs. Fetal monitoring and fetal surgery. Data science and machine learning. Just a glimpse of it. There are so many areas. There's no medicine without technology, and there is no useful technology without medicine. So the whole idea is, how do we now get our faculty here to work on cutting-edge research in medicine? That's the whole idea, and these are some of the topics which are there. So for example, diseases, how are they linked? Mapping of the disease network. So we need deep generalists to understand the complete network. A lot of computer science background is required in order to analyze this. We are well suited to do this. Artificial organs. I need not talk about artificial organs because they're so difficult. In spite of the fact that more than 60 years people have been working on artificial heart, there is only one LVAD in the market. Here is an expert, Professor Dr. K.R. Balakrishnan sitting here developing LVAD, but there is only one after 60 years. When John F. Kennedy announced man to the moon, they thought that man to the moon will be more difficult than getting an artificial heart. The moon was conquered in 9 years. Artificial heart is yet to be conquered. So, my good friends from the Institute, here is a challenge. Here is a challenge. Can we have good artificial organs? Digital twins, very exciting. So, I'll have a digital twin of the patient in my computer. Can I now treat him in the computer and see that we can enhance the clinical practice? We can do that with a lot of background in AI/ML, which the Institute has. Digital twin will be a reality. Molecular basis of understanding human disease. Again, a lot of science is required. These are only examples. And when we started it, we were very clear. The program is for the doctors and by the doctors. This is very clear. So we said that we'll start this with a steering and advisory committee, and we had top-notch doctors in the city to be in the steering committee. And we had also Dean from Sri Chitra and others with tremendous experience. So the first thing we did was to form a steering committee. So the steering committee consisting of top clinicians. Then we had international visiting faculty. Fortunately, we had visiting faculty who are physician scientists, who are engineers as well. So 2 of them who visit IIT Madras, they were made international visiting faculty and advisors. And we had fantastic international advisory committee led by Dr. Brian Krobilka, 2012 Nobel Prize winner. Fantastic when you see that approximately half of all medications used today are based on his work. I met him, we had a long chat. A lot of his suggestions have gone into the curriculum which you would see. So the Department of Medical Sciences and Technology will be arranged in the same fashion as treatments, organs are looked at by the doctors. So we'll have a center for nephrology, for neurology, for cardiovascular medicine, orthopedics, and so on. So the common link between all of them will be a Center of Excellence for Physiology and Translational Research and Center of Excellence for Medical Imaging. So this is how the department will be organized so that organ-specific solutions can be given, and that's the reason. So we're very fortunate to have a partnering hospitals. Without hospital, this program is nothing. And I thank all the hospitals which are part of this program, and we will sign an MOU with all of them after this speech. And I'm very happy that they're all here. So it will be a very clinically oriented, scientifically based program. And that's the speciality of this program. So what are the academic programs? Exclusive BS in Medical Sciences and Engineering. I'm so excited with this program. I asked these doctors whether there is any kaya kalpa to make me 18-year-old. They said nothing like that is available, so I can't take this. I went to Professor Kamakoti and said, can you give me admission? He said, first get the top rank in ICER entrance exam, then come and talk to me about this admission. Nothing doing. Okay? So both of them are not possible for me. But only thing is I can only appreciate the type of program that has been put together by the doctors here. And let me go through this quickly. So the core objectives: human physiology through the lens of engineering. We're going to look at body from engineering science, such as conservation of mass, momentum, energy, which all the faculty here look at it every other day. Human anatomy, medical imaging, and diagnostic techniques will be taught by the clinicians. Develop mathematical models to understand functioning of the physiological system, understand the interactions of the physiological system, with the knowledge of engineering. Develop knowledge about the pathology of the organs, the doctor's arena. They will be teaching the students. Imagine that the best doctors are going to teach the students about clinical practices, about the pathology, about the diagnostics, about how treatments are done through case studies. This is very important. That's why we are tying up with all the hospitals, because we'll be using case studies to teach the students after understanding the basic science, which is based on mathematics and other laws of nature. Specialize in organ-specific medical devices. Ultimately, the student will be able to specialize in all organ-specific medical devices, medical imaging, AI/ML, and whatnot. So there'll be two things in the BS program in medical, and to be very clear to my press friends, this is offline program with presence here in this campus. It is not an online program, because I've received quite a few emails, but let it be clear that it is not an online program. It's an offline program with a lot of visits to the hospitals. So essentially, all the details of this are available in the website. Essentially, it is the fundamental science which would form the basis of the program, followed by medical sciences. You can see courses on cardiovascular and respiratory mechanics. You can see neurosciences, introduction to surgery, orthopedic biomechanics, nephrology, gastroenterology, and whatnot. So this all will be taught using mathematics, engineering, and clinical practice. So all medical courses require students to spend half a day per week in the hospital to tie theory to practice using case studies. So what's the outcome of the program? The students, when they come out, know organ-specific device design. They have artificial intelligence with the background of health, okay, or domain knowledge, medical image analysis, quantitative pharmacology, drug design, and so on. The admission process will be updated in our website, basically from IIT or ICER aptitude test. There will be a doctorate program which will be shortly introduced, to come in shortly. And there will be two programs, one for doctors, which is very, very important for the department, which is physician scientists, the bridge between medicine and science. So there are 37% of Nobel Prize winners who are physician scientists. They're trained to conduct independent scientific investigation. They have key roles in other sectors as well, like pharma sectors, and there are 100 programs in the United States. So we want to have an MD PhD program. We've been talking to many of the schools here for an MD PhD program. There is a need, this definite need for MD PhD program. We can keep talking about this. Lack of time, I'm not going to go into every detail, but they are the driving force behind the mechanistic understanding of diseases, which is a common goal for us. So if you see that many people, about 90% of people who do this MD PhD program in the United States said they would again take it if you had to take it. In other words, they were very satisfied with it. And this is the employment in the United States. The employment is huge. So the proposed PhD programs will have a mirror PhD program where the clinicians with innovative ideas. These people are the most innovative people, and unfortunately, many people don't recognize it. Doctors are the most innovative. So clinicians with an innovative idea registering for a doctorate will be coupled with an engineering PhD student, and the split between the problem to bench and bench to bedside. Bench to bedside by the doctors, problem to bench by engineers. Entrepreneurial PhDs, innovative research-based product development for doctors. So many of them have ideas. So come to us, do research, base your product development on science, and then we will use all our expertise and background to make you an entrepreneur as well. Many, many doctors in the United States are entrepreneurs, and with such innovative ideas like yours, we feel that you should be with us to start innovative enterprises. Tech buff doctors, many of them are sitting here. Work in areas like machine learning, image analysis, data analytics, health, come to us. We will offer you an exciting PhD. So PhD will form a central base after our biggest program, but whether it's MBBS, MS, DNB, all those people can register for our PhD program. We are looking at a long-term impact. We want to become a pivotal stakeholder in the National Health Mission. We want to also do state-of-the-art education. We want to train a large body of doctors every year through online and offline programs. Undertake path-breaking India-specific medical research with an interdisciplinary approach. We want to concentrate on non-communicable diseases, medical technologies, data-intensive studies, and so on. We pray that in the next 10 years, we will positively impact 1 billion lives in person and through digital interfaces. And with all the support of people here, we are sure that we will create world-class physician scientists and Nobel Prize winning research. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Krishna Kumar. May I now request the chief guest of the day, Sri Lakshmi Narayanan, the co-founder of Cognizant, to inaugurate the Department of Medical Sciences and Technology and launch the BS program in Medical Sciences and Engineering. Thank you. May I now request Professor Kamakoti, Director of IIT Madras, to welcome the to address the gathering.
Dear friends, a very hearty welcome to IIT Madras and being part of this historic moment in our exciting journey exploring use of technology for a better world. Friends, inspired by our commitment in letter and spirit, IITM for all, we had been launching a lot of technology-enabled platforms, specifically in the area of education. I'm very happy, I'm very excited to tell you that the BS in data science and the BS in electronic systems and the rural interaction centers that we had set up, around 100 in Tamil Nadu and 100 in UP. We are very, very happy today to note that many students, at least 100 students, had responded back that the intervention that we did through these rural interaction centers, specifically at the time of the +2 examination, had really given them a bigger edge, and they had improved their scores, and their basic understanding of the subjects had been extremely good. This has come out very, very satisfying to us. And in addition, that we started reaching education to the Tier 2, Tier 3, and also people who cannot afford coaching through the BS data science program, wherein they have to clear an eligibility test and come up. We are seeing lot of students who are below poverty line getting admitted into the BS data science program. And these two really have made IIT Madras a very inclusive institution, and we are striking that extremely important motto, IITM, an institute for all. Friends, continuing on this journey, we want to now go and offer a very comprehensive health stack to the country, wherein we reach affordable accessible, quality health care to the poor of the poorest. And today, with the advent of COVID and the type of treatments that were basically delivered during that point of time, that actually gave us an inspiration that technology can be a very good means by which we can reach this health care to the poor of the poorest. With this as a basic inspiration, we have launched this Department of Medical Sciences and Technology, wherein, as Professor Krishna Kumar explained, there are many things that we would like to do, but the focus, if you ask our vision for this, number one is that we need people who have understood the human body, understood the functioning of the human body in its proper perspective. And we strongly believe that an engineer can understand the working of the human body in a very comprehensive manner. And that is precisely what we are trying to do through these courses. The BS in Medical Sciences and Engineering is one such attempt where we aspire to teach the functioning of the human body from an engineering perspective. And that we did a complete survey across the globe on a similar Bachelor of Science course, and I am very happy and excited to tell that this is one such unique in the globe. I am a professor of computer science, but I have no doubt that this is going to be the computer science in the next few years to come. So we wanted to launch it at the earliest with a specific intention that if we have to have more and more digital technology or technology-oriented diagnostics and treatment that need to be taken, and that would be the most important delivery mechanism for us to reach the poor of the poorest, the proper understanding of the human body from an engineering perspective, translating it into effective devices is going to be extremely crucial. We believe that this effort will certainly lead to lot of entrepreneurship where students will take up this knowledge that they have created and translate it into devices that can do extremely minute diagnostics and extremely good treatment process. I have no doubt in this direction. Friends, the next important thing is that as we will be witnessing, we have a sort of illustrious doctors who are with us today and who will be participating as professors in this department. We see that there is a big gap that we need to fill for the MBBS and the MD doctors who are coming out, the fresh MDs and the fresh MBBS, and educate them on the importance of engineering, specifically to understand the medical domain. In this direction, the PhD program that we have introduced will certainly act as a very interesting bridge where the doctors can understand the human body, the functioning of the human body, and also will come out with treatment procedures, will come out with ideas of devices that can basically become a very important ingredient to our healthcare delivery system. The third and most important thing is that today artificial intelligence has become extremely important. The Union Budget, the Honorable Finance Minister has announced 3 centers of excellence for artificial intelligence, and I would like to point out here that one center of excellence is on AI for health. Now, when we start using AI for health, we recently launched a Center for Responsible AI. The prediction that we get out of AI must be responsible. And as Professor Krishna Kumar mentioned, no doctor is going to agree that this is the way I would like to go for a treatment because I have data in support of this. There must be a responsible scientific explanation for how that data and what the prediction given by the data and the science must converge at some point so that we take these type of treatment process further, or the type of diagnostics, or even these types of predictions seriously. I think this particular course and this particular way of approaching medicine from an engineering perspective is going to give us lot more insight on how we are going to interpret the data, interpret the predictions of AI, specifically in the medical diagnostics and medical treatment processes. So I see a very big opening for all of us, and I am sure that many people will come to IIT Madras, will take up these programs, and we will really understand many unsolved mysteries about our own human body. As we had just seen, 60 years before the idea of an artificial heart and the idea of putting man in the moon started, reaching the moon is sky high, that problem is solved. But understanding the heart, sky high, which is several millions of kilometers away from us, that is solved. But reaching our own heart, which is the innermost and the closest to us, is still unsolved. And that is the understanding of the human body. And I think this particular course will help us solve many mysteries about human body. The last one is that we are committed to building human capacity in our country, right from nurses to doctors to specialists, giving them the necessary inputs, not just about traditional treatment processes, traditional first aid type of processes, but also to basically make them understand when they use a device, they are not just taking the reading there, but they are understanding how the device is functioning, and that is very, very important for every careful, clear diagnostics. And specifically when we say that we are going to reach to, say, several kilometers apart, we are going to reach the patient, and a doctor sitting at a city is going to look at a patient in a rural environment. I think the people who are administering or who are handling the equipments there must have much more deeper knowledge, so that the entire diagnostics and treatment process becomes more and more accurate. I think that human capacity we need to build, and that will be one of the major outcomes of the school. So friends, we are opening up. We have a lot of imports today. We have to become Atmanirbhar. Health is a critical technology. If we had not invented the vaccine, today we will not be talking without this mask. If we had waited, like what happened in the case of polio, for 1.5 years for a vaccine, I don't think India would have even moved 1 inch further. We invented 2 vaccines. That essentially shows that we as a country have the intellect, and when a challenge is posed, we will come out and we will really break the challenge and win the challenge. I am sure this effort is going, we have several challenges in front of us, and this effort is going to be absolutely fruitful in breaking all these challenges, making lot more of devices in India, specifically suited for Indian conditions, and really making the global market also. Friends, if we solve a problem in India, I am sure we solve the problem for the entire world. If you have a vaccine that works at 32 degrees centigrade, it also works at 8 degrees centigrade, but the vice versa is not true. I just want to conclude my talk with one very interesting case study that we had specifically with Shankar Nethralaya. One of my friends, one of our friends, colleagues, was in Germany. His son had a small eye surgery corrective surgery to be done. He went to a German hospital and they said that some 3,000 euros. But he asked, how many surgeries you have done? They said some 10 or 15. But when we came back to here, and next week he was back in India, he went to Shankar Nethralaya and said, they said some 30,000 rupees. How many surgeries? Some 2,000, 2,500. So that is the scale at which we are working. That is the amount of data that we have. And I'm sure this is going to be a marvelous success. I seek all your blessings, well wishes, and let us do this and make our country Atmanirbhar in medical technology. Let our Indians grow. Let our Indians get Nobel Prize. Let our Indians serve, and let billions of people be happy, and let billions of people benefit out of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Kamakoti, for your wise words. As youngsters, we'll make sure that we'll make the country into a Atmanirbhar Bharat very soon. It's my pleasure to introduce the chief guest of the day, Shri Lakshmi Narayanan. Shri Lakshmi Narayanan is a technology industry professional who has spent over 40 years in the IT industry, with the last few years in a leadership and governance role in the Cognizant board. He is passionate about encouraging young minds to seek a large purpose in life and encourages them to realize their potential through higher education and entrepreneurship. He plays an active role in ICT education and promotes research in maths and computer science. His association with ICT Academy, Chennai Mathematical Institute and Tyagaraja School of Management are aimed at promoting excellence in higher education. His current research includes drug discovery, research in molecular biology, medical devices and so on. Narayanan is also actively involved in non-profits such as United Way, Child Trust Medical Research Foundation, and others to advance the cause of disadvantaged people and create meaningful livelihood opportunities in the areas of technology and healthcare. He supports young entrepreneurs through angel investment as a part of the Chennai Angels and the TIE organization. His recent investment include deep tech startups, space startups, genetics, and biotech. It's my pleasure to welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much for that introduction. First of all, congratulations to IIT Madras, the director, and Professor Krishna Kumar, whose dream has come true today. He's been dreaming about this for a long time. Congratulations for setting up this school, this department that is combining science, engineering, technology, etc. There are distinguished medical professionals and healthcare professionals here who have committed to supporting this center and create a world-class research outcome out of this department and out of this institution. I should, on behalf of the institute, on behalf of millions of people, thank them for coming forward and collaborating with an academic institution. I'll look at 2 or 3 examples that are really very, very fascinating, that drives people into the advances that are going to happen in this area. There's a mention about Child Trust Hospital. Occasionally I get an opportunity to interact with some of the surgeons, pediatric surgeons who deal with small babies, neonatologists. And the one thing that I learned about a year and a half back was about fetal surgery. It was fascinating for me, for a non-medical professional like me. I said, this is fantastic. And then in the last 1.5 years, fetal surgery has progressed to fetal cardiac surgery and fetal neurosurgery. You can imagine the level of specialization that's happening. And initially, about 1.5 years back, when I spoke with the surgeon, so he was very nonchalant about it. He said, you're a great medical professional. You must be doing all this. How do you understand the fetus, etc.? So his remark was, oh, that's not so difficult. But he really complimented the technology, the tools, and the computing power that was available for carrying out this fetal surgery. So as medical professionals and clinicians, they look at technology as something that is really fantastic. And for technologists, these appear to be, if not child's play, we are there. And the understanding, the life sciences, and the understanding of the human body appears to be, oh, that is something specialized. If the two of them get together, I think that's where magic gets created. That is the area where collaborative research, collaboration, or innovation at convergence is something that, this model has been much talked about. The classic example that is given is usually about the IEEE. Electrical engineering was the basic discipline, and then from there came ACM, communications, computing, and that all of that got together in an integrated model where the knowledge convergence happened first, then the technology convergence, and then business model convergence. Just imagine what Apple did with iTunes. Although the device was very simple, they created a mechanism by which music could be downloaded in a very easy manner. It could be monetized, and it became so easy for people to use that millions of people adopted it in no time. And likewise, more and more of these smaller devices, the technology integration is happening. Typical watch, which has an SpO2 meter, an accelerometer, you can do a single node ECG, so on and so forth. Tremendous amount of technology is helping in the area of healthcare. There are two broad problems. The earlier generations, we were worried about mortality. The mortality was 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, due to various reasons, pandemics, etc. Maternal mortality. That problem appears to have been solved to a large extent, whereby the life expectancy keeps going up and up, so much so that people are making bets on, who will live to be the first human being to cross 120 years. There is Jack Dorsey, one of the innovators, talks about, I want to live to be 140 years, and he's making plans for that. That kind of expectation is there, that kind of hope and opportunities are there for people to think ahead. But the quality of life is something that we have to be concerned about. There are people who are living a long life, but the quality of life that they have, particularly those affected by neurodegenerative disorders, is not all that great. That's something that I think an institution like IIT is at this point of time addressing through the Brain Research Center, and there is a whole lot of work that's going on in that area. So the point that I want to make is, there is no end to research. There is no end point as far as research in the area of human healthcare medicine is concerned. It's a never-ending cycle that people have to keep constantly innovating, and that innovation is going to happen at the point of convergence of whatever, life sciences, cognitive science, nanotechnologies, materials, everything. And it's that collaborative effort that we have to put together. The research orientation that we have to get is not just out of interest in order to gain a position in the global world, but it is an imperative for us in India. Because in terms of the number of researchers and the quality and capabilities of researchers that we can produce, the rest of the world is dependent on us. Given our demography, our capability, our strength of education institutions, and the numbers, sheer numbers that we have, we will become the supplier of research talent globally. Elsewhere in the world, that is either stagnant or coming down, whereas in India, that number is increasing. It should increase further, and more importantly, that quality is also increasing. So it is so important for us to be the provider of research talent globally, rather than looking at solving problems for the country. In terms of talent and creating the talent, I think we have a good handle. It's the capital, it's the money that we require for investing in these technologies, investing in research. I recollect several years back, Venkatraman Ramakrishnan, the person who received Nobel Prize in chemistry, came to Shankar Netralaya. He addressed the audience, structure of the ribosomes, etc., made a beautiful presentation. And his lament was, there is so much more that he could do and his laboratory could do, if only he had capital. All that he requested, I believe, at that point in time was 40 million pounds. And he said, on the day that application of that proposal was rejected because of lack of funds, Facebook went public with billions of dollars of people investing in that. And the point that he made was, here I can change humanity with this kind of research if I had this small funding. Whereas for gossip, people are willing to pay billions of dollars. And these are the exact words that he used during that presentation. So we have come a long way from that. People realize the importance of research, particularly in India. Anything that we do in any of the areas where the most research spend happens, areas of space and aviation, we have a leading position. Areas of nuclear energy, thorium-based nuclear energy, India is in a leading position. India's backed by Indian scientists, we have formulated pellets of thorium with high-assay enriched uranium. That's, as we speak, undergoing irradiation tests in the US, which hopefully will become a proliferation-resistant nuclear fuel that we can use here in India. Again, we have a leadership position there, and why not in the area of medical science and technology? This is a great opportunity. This is the first step that has been taken by IIT Madras. I hope there are many more steps that are taken by them to pursue research in this area, and I hope they raise sufficient resources to keep going at a faster pace than anywhere else. Congratulations once again, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your wishes, sir. You've always been a well-wisher for this institute. Thank you once again. May I now request the dignitaries on the stage to take up the seats in the front until we prepare the stage for the next session.
May I also inform friends that Lakshmi has been our first Lakshmi. So he has given us an endowment of rupees 10 crores to the Department of Medical Sciences. Thank you very much, sir, for opening the basket.
Thank you. May I now request Professor Kamakoti, Director of IIT Madras, and Professor Pratap Haridas, Dean of Academic Courses at IIT Madras, to come to the dais for the MOU signing ceremony with the medical institutions. I now request Professor Krishna Kumar to take over the session.
So thank you very much for all the dignitaries from the medical institutions. So I'll call one by one. We will sign the MOU. There will be MOU exchange, and may I request you to be seated after the MOU. I'm going by the alphabetical order. MGM Hospitals, Dr. Prashant is here. Dr. Prashant is a Johns Hopkins educated doctor. Thank you, sir, for coming. Yes. Please, have a seat. Can I ask Dr. Prashant to say a few words?
Firstly, congratulations to IIT Madras, Dr. Krishna Kumar, your long dream of setting up this school. As you all know, we are a 4-year-old hospital, but we are also a medical university from Pondicherry. We have about 2,500 students studying with us to be MBBS doctors. We set up MGM Healthcare 4 years back because while in medical school, our students every day learn how to do a hernia surgery, hydrocele surgery. We wanted them to be exposed to some cutting-edge clinical work. We are blessed and fortunate to have Dr. K.R. Balakrishnan with us, who is the national leader in heart and lung transplant surgery, mechanical circulatory support. For an MBBS student who just sees basic surgeries, for him to see a life-changing and an experience like going into a surgery, scrubbing into a heart transplant or a lung transplant could be a career-defining moment. And that's the kind of moment that we want to give our MBBS students. And we are fortunate that we have Dr. Bala, who, as Dr. Krishna Kumar also mentioned, is developing the first artificial heart project, which is in animal trials now in Australia and hopefully soon in human trials. And this will be the first center. No Cleveland Clinic or Mayo Clinic or Cedars-Sinai of the world have developed from lab to market an artificial heart implant, and it will be a hospital from here in Chennai. And we are extremely delighted to work with IIT Madras in not just making this into a one single person's wonder, but rather take this and inspire students and build a community of medical innovators for the future along with you all. Thank you for the opportunity.
May I request Dr. Rajan Ravichandran, who is going to sign the MOU on behalf of MIOT, please come to the stage. Dr. Rajan Ravichandran needs no introduction, India's leading nephrologist. Please. So, can I ask Dr. Ajit Mulisari to sign on behalf of Triple M? Rajit and Dr. Rajan Ravichandran are also professors of practice. They said they'll take the stage later. Can I ask Dr. Surendran to come to the stage to sign on behalf of Shankar Nethralaya? He's one of the key members when Shankar Nethralaya was started. Dr. Badrinath's, shall I say, right-hand man in those days. And he's been very active. He's now chairman of Shankar Nethralaya. We're so honored that he was able to come today to sign the MOU. Thank you very much, sir. So, may I request you to say a few words, sir?
Respected dignitaries and friends, good evening to everybody. On behalf of our Chairman Emeritus, Dr. Badrinath, and his blessings, I would like to congratulate Kamakoti and Shankar Nethralaya. I think I would always refer as two eyes. The right eye, if it is Shankar Nethralaya, left eye is IIT. Even in the term IIT, you see two eyes there. And then I think T like nose it appears. So Shankar Nethralaya and IIT will work together and achieve whatever is their Nobel thing. I just only nostalgic memories. Nethralaya, I think, like Professor Lakshmi Narayanan shared, Nethralaya is a 46 years institution founded by Dr. Badrinath with the blessings of Periyaba Shankaracharya. And we have seen about 6 million patients, outpatients, and now per day we see about 4,000 patients and operate about 400 surgeries, out of which almost 75 to 100 are done under general anesthesia. The statistics what Kamakoti shared is staggering statistics. And I'm sure that I think way back in 89, I think I was awarded the Lieutenant Colonel Rangachari Gold Medal from the All India Ophthalmic Society, which is now happening in Cochin. And this award was given for innovation. So there used to be, I think, Dr. Badrinath used to do pediatric cataracts those days and hand it over to me for contact lenses. So we had to use a keratometer to check the curvature of the cornea to give the contact lens. So I think with that in mind, I think the child was put into the instrument where the chin had to be placed there, and it was very, very tough to handle the child giving anesthesia and doing this for a 1-year kid or neonatal. So I devised an instrument, the same Bausch and Lomb optics I used, and used an aluminum casing, and made it was looking like AK-47, made it like a pediatric portable keratometer, which won me the medal. So like Lakshmi Narayanan pointed out, we are little innovators. So we did devise a couple of things for the eye transplant, and then for quickly checking the number, just keep pushing one a sort of plastic, this thing with lot of spherical powers, minus and plus. So you push and then you can check the number quickly in pediatric patients. These were all small innovations, but I think what I see here, I am having a cultural shock. What I think we are going to achieve, I think His blessings I am sure we will achieve. Thank you, sir, for once again this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As I told, doctors are the key innovators, and we strongly feel that innovation cannot happen unless you understand the body completely. So that's the whole program, and that's the whole course that you understand the physiology, then innovation becomes much easier. Now may I ask Professor Rupa Nagarajan to come to the stage. Dr. Rupa Nagarajan is a very well-known speech therapist. She's published a number of papers in this area, and I'm happy she's here with us to sign the MOU. May I request Professor to say a few words on behalf of Sri Ramchandra.
Good afternoon, everybody. Respected members on the dais, and all friends in the audience. It gives me great pleasure to represent Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education Research here. And I bring this afternoon greetings from our Chancellor, Sri Venkatachalam, our Vice Chancellor, Professor Uma Shekhar, and our Pro-Vice Chancellor, Dr. Mahesh, who are not able to be here today. And it is with great pleasure today that we sign this MOU to take this relationship between Ramchandra and IIT further. We've had a long relationship, a lot of person to person, professor to professor, PhD student to PhD student relationship for many, many years. But this course and this department puts medical science, in which we have a lot of stake in, and engineering, which IIT has a lot of stake in, puts it right in the center, and I think takes our relationship to the next level, to a higher level, in truly solving issues that exist in our country, as Professor Kamakoti so nicely explained in his speech, that together we can really do much, and we should. We are also very delighted that we have two stalwarts from our university here today, Dr. Jason Murthy, our former Vice Chancellor, Dr. Karthik Kailash, who truly, sir, have steered this collaboration forward with great passion, knowing that working together we can really achieve more. And so I'm so delighted that we have signed this MOU, and we promise and we look forward to the greatest amount of cooperation in the coming years. Thank you.
So I'm very extremely thankful to Sri Ramchandra Institute, because they're going to extend a lot of facilities for us, including their biochemistry lab, microbiology lab, pathology, physiology, anatomy, all the laboratories. They've just opened the doors for us. And this program has meaning. That meaning has been given by Sri Ramchandra Institute. Thank you very much, madam, for all the help. May I request Dr. Suresh Seshadri to sign on behalf of VHS. Dr. Suresh needs no introduction. He's considered as the father of fetal ultrasound in this country. Thank you, sir. Dr. Suresh is also a professor of practice, so he can give his observations at the end. So we'll have a group photo session now. And
I request Professor Kamakoti to felicitate the guests with a memento.
Can we have a group photo session? The front. Yeah.
Thank you very much. May I now request the guests to take up these seats in the front rows so that we set up the stage for the next session. Thank you. May I now request Professor Krishna Kumar to welcome the awardees of the Professors of Practice. May I now request Professor Kamakoti to come to the stage and take up the rise.
So I'll call one by one the Professor of Practice, and this again in an alphabetical order. May I request Dr. Ajit Mulasari to come to the stage, please. Dr. Ajit needs no introduction. He's one of the India's leading cardiologists. So recently I was talking to him about data, and I just asked him, so he asked me how much data you want. I said 200, 300. He said I have about 15,000 to 18,000. So he has so many patients, and I'm so happy that he has agreed to be a professor of practice, and we'll gain immensely from this experience. May I request Dr. K.R. Balakrishnan to come to the stage. Dr. Bala and I have been friends for the past 20 years. We have worked together, and we have a number of papers. As he walked in, we have submitted a paper. The first question he asked is, has the reviews completed? And a passionate researcher who spends almost every other day at IIT Madras. Srikanth knows every time we have coffee, there's a call from Dr. Balakrishnan. So I'm very happy that he is agreed to be a professor of practice. Thank you, sir. May I now request Dr. Kannan to come to the stage, please. Dr. Kannan is a very well-known Kannan, Karthik, Kailash. The problem is that Karthik's father and I, we go, ages before. So I know Mr. Kannan very well, so I keep addressing him like that. Dr. Karthik is a very well-known spine surgeon from Ramchandra, very passionate about his profession. We've been talking about it for a very long time, and I'm happy he's here with us. And he's been associated with our Department of Engineering Design for a long time, and he'll share as we complete this and ask for his observations. May I now ask Dr. Rajan Ravichandran to come to the stage, please. Dr. Rajan Ravichandran, nephrologist par excellence, again with 25 to 30,000 patients. His numbers are mind-boggling, and he has tremendous experience in nephrology, and treated so many VIPs as well, as I keep telling him. May I call you as the superstar of nephrology? So he is, and I'm very happy that he's with us today. Can I ask Rajiv Raman, Dr. Rajiv Raman, to come to the stage, please? Dr. Rajiv Raman is a retinal specialist from Shankar Nethralaya, and just amazing to look at his surgery. He has invited me so many times. I'm so happy he's with us. He has so many papers. His H index is something like 60 or something like that, 60 or 65. So many papers, and I'm happy that he's going to guide youngsters. In fact, two of the students are working with them. I'm so happy he's with us. Can I ask Dr. Murthy, former Vice Chancellor of Ramchandra, a very well-known cardiologist, interventional cardiologist, runs a huge unit at Ramchandra. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us. May I request Dr. Suresh to come to the stage, please. As I just introduced, he is the father of the field ultrasound in his country. In this country, so many protocols he had perfected. Again, it's a pleasure that he's with us. He's been in our steering committee as well. Thank you, sir. Thank you for accepting our offer. May I request Dr. Vijay Kumar to come on stage. Dr. Vijay Kumar is a true physician scientist. He's a MD, PhD. So he's been with Narayana Medical College for 25 to 30 years. He's a pediatrician by training. He has run the hospital for a long time, for 25 years. And his experience is very useful for us to look at completely a hospital setup and clinical practice. Thank you, sir. Can I ask my good friend, Dr. Vijit Cherian, to come to the stage, please? Dr. Vijit is an interventional cardiac surgeon, the minimally invasive cardiac surgery is a specialization. I'm very happy that he's with us. He is with Triple M and very busy surgeon. But in spite of it, whenever I call him, he immediately would return the call and talk about this. He's very passionate about this whole program. Thank you, sir. So now can I ask one by one the professors of practice to give an acceptance speech and their observations. Can you start with Dr. Raj?
Thank you, Krishna Kumar. It's indeed a great honor to be appointed Professor of Practice at the prestigious IIT Madras for the Department of Medical Sciences and Engineering. This has been really a dream come true for us. I know Krishna Kumar even before 1997, when I started interacting with IIT from that time. We made the first acute dialysis machine in 1997. Unfortunately, we made 5 machines which ran in several of the leading hospitals, including Ramachandra, Apollo, Vijaya, Mallar, but we were not able to get a venture capitalist in those days to market it in a large way. The project died. Professor Anant also has been very, very receptive for our ideas, and we used to have every month meeting and have different projects. We had one of the toxins in kidney failure is phosphorus. Phosphorus accumulates in the body and it can damage the blood vessels and the bones. And we got the first phosphate binder patented, and that with Professor Shankar Raman of the IIT Chemistry Department. And the drug is still being used all over the world, and that's been a real achievement. So we had several projects with IIT, but I would be at fault if I don't appreciate Professor Krishna Kumar's enormous effort in starting this department. Of course, the enthusiasm of Kamakoti can't be matched, but that's a different issue. But the groundwork and the work that Professor Krishna Kumar has put into this, hats off to him. Thank you.
Can I now ask Dr. Karthik? Karthik and I used to play tennis when he was very young. He was still in college. And we used to have idli vada sambar at the end of the game. So this is a very personal touch with him. Yes,
Thank you, sir. It's an honor and a privilege to be here amidst so many dignitaries and people here. 3 quotes. The first one from Abdul Kalam, our favorite president. Dreams are the one which keep you awake. I think he thought about Professor Kamakoti and Professor Krishna Kumar when saying this. So these people never slept. They just dreamt, and it has fructified today. Thank you, sir, for. I must thank the wives of these 2 people for not disturbing them more than anything else. That's one. Secondly, when we talk about poet Tennyson, we always read about the brook. Men may come and men may go, but the brook goes on forever. Institutions like IIT and Ramchandra pairing together will go on forever, sir. Thank you very much. Lastly but not least, on this stage we have men, remind me of the Psalm of Life. The Psalm of Life tells us about men whose lives are so sublime, they reminds us of so many things, and leaves footprints in the sands of time. And we have great men like Lakshmi Narayanan sir here, who have left their footprints there. Thank you, IIT, for giving us this little bit of footprint of ours to be left in the sands of time. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Karthik. Actually, I gave my wife the link. I hope she's been listening. Yes, sure, please.
I just want to add one more thing with the permission of the management from Sri here, that we are on the way towards the final consultations on the MD PhD programs. We are certainly almost on there, and our assistant professors and senior residents who have finished their MS programs or the MD programs would be part of the PhD, MD PhD joint program from here, and they will be salaried by us.
I want to thank at this stage Dr. Mahesh Vakamudi, who is the Pro Vice Chancellor. He's taken the initiative, and I can't imagine that the type of work, type of initiatives he has taken. He's promised that the salaries will be paid, and so they'll sponsor students who have done their MD, MS, DM, MCH. There will be a senior resident there, and they will also do PhD here. It's a great step forward. It's a dream. And thank you very much, Srihar, for a wonderful gesture. May now ask Dr. Balakrishnan to come on stage. So we've been working for the past 20 years, so we know him. I know him for a very, very long time, very close friend of mine, one of the greatest cardiac surgeon in this country. So sometime back, maybe in March, I was talking to one of the doctors in his group. So I asked him how many transplants have taken place in this country from January to March. He said 66. So I asked him how many has Bala done? 60. So that's what he is. Please, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here. As Dr. Krishna Kumar said, we've been working together for a long time. And it's something which needed to have been done, in my opinion, 50 years ago. This marriage between... I'll share a few snippets of how my own understanding of medicine changed after I started coming here, because an engineering perspective is very different from ours. I'll just give an example. I mean, at least those of you who are physicians will understand this. Sarcomere is a basic unit of muscle, heart or skeletal muscle, and the Z band is the one which divides two sarcomeres to which myosin is attached. So we all taught that each sarcomere shortens. So he asked me a question: what happens to Z band? Which side does it go to when it's pulled from both sides? Very intriguing question, because ours, to a large extent, is knowledge is given, is taken, we apply it. But when you think it from an engineering perspective, it has to be an elastic structure. And then when I went back and looked at the biopsies of heart muscles of patients with heart failure, invariably the intercalated discs are much wider than they are in normal. So you get great new insights from fundamental physiology. And in my opinion, in fact, I was talking to Prashant, the undergraduate basic science education needs a major revamp in this country. To a large extent, it's a pathway to passing exams. And MD in physiology is not a particularly attractive course for students to take, whereas those are the guys who win Nobel Prizes. So, of course, we have medical councils to deal with, but I hope that we are able to cross those bridges and eventually build a vibrant program which benefits everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bharat. Can I ask now Dr. Ajit to record his observations?
Good evening, friends. Thank you, Professor Kamakoti and Professor Krishna Kumar, to have started this program with all of us. It's indeed a privilege and honor for all of us to be here on this function. Let me say I've been working with IIT for about 7 to 8 years, and I've had very good interactions with the postdoctoral students here. We could publish a reasonable number of papers in major impact journals. But I always watched China coming up after the US. And if you look at all the major journals in medicine, it seems to me that China is overtaken the United States in many of the major publications in health sciences. And I always wondered why India didn't do that. And the reason is maybe this. We didn't create an ecology. We didn't create an atmosphere for physicians to interact with engineers and scientists and create good science. So I think this is one of the areas where I think is extremely important we buck up, catch up, and we do good work. The second thing, we all talked about artificial intelligence and ML, and I've done some work. I was sharing with Krishna Kumar the other day, and we were making a presentation which got accepted in Nature Scientific Reports. And one of the physicians got up and said, Dr. Ajit, are we redundant now? Do we need physicians? AI will take yours. And I simply said that, well, what will become redundant is a physician who does not know AI. An AI knowledgeable physician will be there and will be important. So the AI will only complement a physician in the whole atmosphere of medicine and science. So I think that we need to move together as scientists and physicians and move ahead. But let me warn you that everything in technology is not so correct. If you just read this beautiful book by Dr. Abraham Verghese from Stanford on the convenience of water, what he talks in his TED Talk is that medicine has moved towards technology so much that you have two types of patients. One is an eye patient, which is on the computer. And number two is a real patient who is lying on the bed. And sometimes you don't see the real patient, and you're only seeing the reports and on the computer. And therefore, medicine will lose its art. And there's a lot of importance of the physical touch and talk, which physicians should not forget in the treatment of patients. So I think all in all, this is an exciting point of time. And I think I congratulate IIT Madras, Professor Kamakoti and Krishna Kumar for taking this bold step forward as the first time in the country. And from our side, from MMM, myself and Vijita, representing the organization, we promise 100% support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ajit. May I request Rajiv Raman to say a few words. He is an adjunct faculty in our department. Very interesting thing is that when I was just taking around our department, I have a virtual proving ground for tires. In fact, it's sponsored by JK Tires. So I first thought whether I should take him, what is there on a virtual proving ground for JK Tires, what is a retinal surgeon is going to do with that. Within 3 minutes, yes, 3 minutes, he says, great use to me. I was sort of, what? Why, sir? This. He said that I have to test people for driving ability, especially people who have got cataract, glaucoma and all that. And then this is the test bed for me. It's very, very important. And then I attended a marriage of one of the doctor's daughter, and the whole group was there, Shankar Netra group was there. So everyone said, when can I come? This is a tool which we have been looking for. So I'm so happy that we were of some use. Can I ask that?
Thank you, Dr. Krishna Kumar. I'm deeply humbled, honored to accept this position of the Professor of Practice. Actually, the journey began when Professor Kamakoti came to my clinic for a checkup, when he just, I think a week before he became director. And he reminded the old work which we started on AI a couple of years back. And after that, I think we worked with Google and published in JAMA the first AI algorithm for diabetic retinopathy, Arvinda Institute and Shankar Netralaya. And then we thought that that's not the end. The problem of big companies like Google, they have a problem, they want to work. But what happens to the problems which we have? Many times they are not keen to work on that. That's what I was explaining. And a week later, I see in the newspaper, Professor Kama has become a director. And the next day he calls. And then this journey started of the steering committee. Great learning, great stalwarts. We had regular meetings and the course curriculum, how this course would be. And then I became adjunct faculty. We started 3 projects. He told only about one. So one was this project on driving. I am a retina specialist, and many people who have diabetes-related retinal damage, diabetic macular edema, the vision is preserved. They have pretty good vision, but it's a distorted vision. They still continue to drive. By how good they are driving, what is the risk of accident, we really don't know. So that's how the journey started. And every Shankar Netralaya, one beauty is that we get one research day, all the consultants. And Tuesday happens to be my research day. Half day I spend in his lab. So just seeing the things we started, this was one. Second, once he came to my theater to see my retina surgery. And then I was always worried that the vitreous pulls and causes breaks in the retina. And he said, let's do a mathematical modeling. So now we have 2 students working on finite element, trying to model the vitreous surgery so that we can predict the complications. And the third one was again the big data. So we had a student who started working on, we had a large population-based study called as SN DREAMS, Shankar Netralaya Diabetic Retinopathy Epidemiology and Molecular Genetics Study. And this, I say, is a gold mine because we have a 15-year follow-up data on Chennai population, a population-based data set. And Professor Kamakoti, Professor Krishna Kumar started working on that, trying to do some fractal analysis, trying to find out, can we predict other cardiovascular diseases just from looking the eye? I think it's a great learning. Last 6 months, I've been coming Tuesdays, and I really cherish all the half days which I spend here. And at this moment, I'll also like to, I took a permission from Dr. Minu Bajpai, who heads the Diplomat National Board in New Delhi. Professor Krishna Kumar and me have been very closely interacting with him, and very happy to share that they were very positive to start a DNB PhD program and a FNB PhD program. The FNB PhD program is, they have already took approvals, and I'm soon you will see in Chennai the FNB candidates doing a PhD at IIT Chennai. I think this crosstalk, what we are talking about, we have a BS course and we have the doctors doing the PhD at IIT is the need for the day. And I'm sure I'll try to contribute in this department to my best possible and let the dreams of Professor Kamakoti happen true. Thank you.
Can I request Dr. Muthi, former Vice Chancellor, so tremendous academic, administrative, clinical experience. I don't want to take much time. Is time? Please, sir.
Respected Director, Professor Krishna Kumar, senior colleagues, and respected audience. In fact, it is a great opportunity for us to be associated with IIT on this medico-technical journey. To be precise, actually this concept was started by Professor Anand 10 years ago when I used to come here as a consultant in cardiology. He called me one day and he said, is it possible for doctors and engineers to stay together and do something together? I said, yes, sir, I was thinking about it for a long time. Then he said, you come to my office, I'll raise some questions, you answer them, then we'll take it forward. I said, I have got the answers ready. Then he said, tell me the first question is, how to get the clearance from the Medical Council of India? I said, sir, that question is already solved. He said, how? I said, sir, IIT is created by an act of parliament and you don't go to AICTE, so there's no need to go to Medical Council of India. You can get the clearance from the Ministry of Health and the job is done. Then he said, how about the hospital? I said, sir, you look at your back door, you have VHS, and turn to your left, you have Cancer Institute, turn around, you have other hospitals. Without investments, hospital will be part of the technical journey. All of us will be privileged and proud to be associated with the technical journey with the IITs. There's no competition between doctors or the technology. We feel bad. Many times, if one chip breaks down in our cath lab, we become blind and deaf. That is our knowledge of technology. So we need, why the cost of medical treatment is high is because we don't have indigenization. 3 decades ago, myself and Bala were doing some tissue valve bank in Madras Medical College, and we used to go and collect the dead hearts and created a blood tissue valve bank in Railway Hospital. And one day the professor told me, please get out. We don't have transplant strategy of this country. If you take these things and do anywhere, you are liable to be jailed.
From that day, we started a heart transplant with me. And Bala passed one statement at that time, you allow the dogs to eat the dead hearts, but not to us. So that's the thing. From then onwards, we have come, and my good friend Bala is one of the leading transplant surgeon of the country. Why I'm telling is, there's no competition. We need indigenization. We do. Lot of times, we look at simulating labs worldwide. Oh, simulating labs are good. We can teach the undergraduate, postgraduate without anything. But at what cost? If IIT can do it, if one simulator lab can be created in IIT, it can open for the entire Tamil Nadu students for a nominal price, and technology can be done. So innovation and technical of excellence, what you have, the research facilities can be extended, and many of us can be a part of it and use a little of it. Sometime back, one of our orthopedic surgeon, dental wing, maxillofacial surgeon, had a fracture of the mandible. They came to IIT, they did a 3D reconstruction of the jaw, and exact size measurement was done, and the surgery was just fitted. So we know what it happens, but what we need is we want to work together. With that passion only, I was the devil's advocate for Professor Krishna Kumar, keep on raising questions, and he has been very patient to me for the last couple of years, and this journey should continue. The mantle should go on, and we are sure with the backup of Professor Kamakoti sir and KK and all others, it's possible to take it forward, and we would like to be a small partner in this role. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for fine-tuning all our programs with your very, shall I say, interesting questions. Can I ask now, Dr. Suresh? Dr. Suresh has been, a small change, and Dr. Vijit has to catch a flight. So may I request Dr. Vijit to, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I have a flight to catch. Just want to thank Dr. Krishna Kumar, Dr. Kamakoti for this opportunity, and I am sure we have a very exciting future in this amalgamation of both the sciences. Thank you, sir, and thank you.
Can I now ask Dr. Suresh? Dr. Suresh has been forefront of fetal ultrasound and fetal surgery, and very exciting experience he has shared with me. Please, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, and it's a privilege and pride to be here today on this platform. To be part of a program in IIT. I remember my mother, 3 of my cousin brothers were alumnus of this college, and she always say, why are you not going to IIT? And well, I wanted to become a doctor, so I became a doctor. And I take you back to 1982, when my first association with the Biomedical Engineering Department of IIT came. Ultrasound had just come into Chennai, and Professor T.M. Srinivasan said, I have a student, can you give us a project to do? And it was on cardiac wall motion analysis. So we used our machine and we did a cardiac wall motion analysis, and that particular student went on to do extremely well, joined the international company called Hewlett-Packard, and that whatever he did as his project, as his PhD project, was actually incorporated with the ultrasound machine, and it started being used by cardiologists all over the world. So this was the first insight. I felt there is so much more to it that can be done. And a few years ago, another PhD student, the dream is, can we actually find out a person has got a chronological age? There's also, his blood vessels are also aging inside. So is there a way of finding out how the blood vessels are aging and whether it's matching with the chronological age? So I'm very happy to say that from bench to bedside, this product has been developed here, and it's very soon going to hit the market because it's already a product well tested, going research trials. So this is the potential we have. And lastly, my own field, which is fetal medicine. I'm a fetal surgeon, operated on many babies, and to my surprise, in the entire world, there's only one company which manufactures these instruments for doing fetal surgery. I said, why? And recently, for the last 3 years, we could not import even one equipment because of some governmental regulations which was there. And one instrument broke. There was nobody to repair it. I went to one of the surgical instrument manufacturers here, and what was told to me for 2 lakhs for repair, he made it to me for 3,000 rupees. And I was able to do several surgeries after that with that instrument. This is what we require. And this is what I believe this program will throw up individuals who will help us, support us into providing affordable, truly affordable healthcare. I'm extremely happy to be part of it, and thank Dr. Kamakoti and Dr. Krishna Kumar and IIT for giving me this opportunity and being made as Professor of Practice. Thank you very much. Looking forward to a great work with IIT.
Can I ask Dr. Vijay Kumar? Dr. Vijay Kumar is a MD PhD. He is a very well-known pediatrician in Andhra Pradesh. He also ran the Narayana Medical College. Please, sir.
Good evening, sir. Dignitaries on the dais, distinguished invitees, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, and friends. I take it a very great opportunity at the outset to express my gratitude to IIT and headed by Professor Kamakoti and Krishna Kumar for having given this opportunity to associate myself with IIT. The work what I had been doing, just 2 things. One is the nano iron impregnated biscuits for, to be given to the pregnant ladies so that we can avoid the infant anemias and associated complications. That has come to almost final stage, and I would be very grateful to associate IIT Chennai students to involve in that project. Secondly, regarding the PhDs, we had been discussing, Professor Krishna Kumar and myself, as per the National Educational Policy 2020 of Government of India, all the universities, Professor Prashant also knows, see, all the universities are going to be renamed by 2030. They are not going to be deemed universities, state universities, central universities. All institutions are going to be universities, and there will not be any affiliated colleges. All the institutions, higher educational institutions, will be autonomous under section 12 and 3. Once we say that autonomous, the rules of UGC will come into the picture, and the employment into the all educational institutions by the time should have the PhD degree. Without PhD degree, UGC will not accept any recruitment into the higher educational institutions under UGC. So keeping that in mind, I'm extremely happy and also thankful to Professor Kamakoti and all for having this kind of vision to start this department today. And later on, probably in the years to come, he said he would focus on PhD also. And for the medical graduates and postgraduates, doing PhD concomitantly will be a boon to them. And I am sure some of us at least will agree with me that we were very poor in the research methodology, and by God's grace, we had some good professors. So they taught us the research methodology and other aspects of PhD program, and by God's grace, I could complete it, and now that's what he was telling a research scientist. So thank you very much, sir, and we will try to live up to your expectations, and also thank Professor Bobby George. So he is going to lead us this department. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you very much.
So now you can imagine my jealousy of those 17-year-old who's going to join this department. They're going to be trained by stalwarts. You know, they've promised to be to train them, and no chance. I'm 50 years early. Can I have? We have some guests join. Quickly, we will run through their observations. We have Dr. Gopalakrishnan, who is a professor of neurosurgery from JIPMER. He was also head till recently of neurosurgery. He's been our steering committee member with a lot of inputs. May I ask him to give his observations? Can you unmute him, please?
Yeah, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I really appreciate Dr. Krishna Kumar's enthusiasm. It's something to be admired, and I believe that this is a path-breaking step IIT has taken, bringing together doctors and engineers and to create a new species that is who will innovate and create new products and was a revolution in medical sciences. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. We have Dr. Venkat Sadanand with us. He's been a pillar of strength for us. He is a distinguished alumnus from IIT Madras. A rare combination of electrical engineering, economics, and neurosurgery. So probably the only person in the world who has done such varied subjects and yet excelled in all of them. Can you please unmute Dr. Venkat? Please, sir.
Thank you very much. My most humble salutations to all the stalwarts in clinical medicine and engineering who are in this meeting. My heartfelt congratulations to Professor Kamakoti, Professor Krishna Kumar, Professor Bobby George, Professor Srinivasa Chakravarti, and Professor Shrikant, who are going to be permanent members of this department. There was talk, I'm an engineer, and I'm a neurosurgeon. So there was talk that Professor Kamakoti gave in the beginning of this meeting about the importance of AI, which undoubtedly is very important. So I asked one of the large language models, what is the unique advantage of combining engineering and medicine education? So I'm going to share my screen and I'll tell you what ChatGPT says about this. This can help prepare the next generation of physicians to cope with dynamic and systemic changes in the areas. These are exactly the areas that you all mentioned so far: digital health, quality improvement, personalized medicine, regulations, and reimbursement models. It can empower future clinicians to make an impact, not only in medicine, but also in the larger healthcare sector, by leveraging the expertise needed to be in the forefront of healthcare innovation, entrepreneurship, and research. These are all unique advantages, and you can see that by this step taken by IIT Madras, the first in India and the second in the world, some major movement has happened. It may seem, to rephrase Neil Armstrong, it may seem, given the expertise of IIT Madras, it may seem like a small step for IIT, but it's a big leap for mankind. And if you look at it, the last part, it can enhance the clinical relevance of healthcare technologies by ensuring they're validated, supported, and accessible for optimal patient care. This is the most important part of this combination. Engineering, as I see it, is not just knowledge or education. It is a way of thought. Medicine, similarly, is not just about treatment of patients and diseases and education, but it is also a way of thinking. And when you combine these two ways of thinking, the baby that is born is this fantastic, wonderful combination that can change how medicine is practiced and how engineering will play a major role in that. Thank you very much for allowing me to be part of this, and I wish you all very well. God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Venkat, and this is so heartening to get an acknowledgement from ChatGPT. It's very important for us today. May I ask Dr. Stefan from Germany? He is again an electrical engineer turned physician. Please, Dr. Stefan, I hope you are unmuted.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Well, okay.
Yes.
All right. So, respected honorables and colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, today I witnessed something really remarkable. I think a major step that IIT Madras has achieved, and please allow me to warmly and with full heart congratulate on this achievement. I think it's a great achievement, and combining medicine with engineering and scientific skills will create people with an analytical mindset that will change the way we do medicine. And I'm very thankful that you allow me to participate in this and be on this advisory committee for the next few years. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm really looking forward to cooperate. Thank you very much and all the best. Congratulations from Germany.
Thank you very much, Dr. Stefan. Stefan has been a great source of strength for IIT Madras. He spends quite a few weeks here in IIT. He was recently here in IIT. He works closely with Professor Bobby George. Thanks for all your observations, sir.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. May I now request all the awardees for a short group photo. மீடியா பெட் ரெண்டு லைவில் வந்து உங்களையும் பின் பண்ணிவிடுங்க, ஸ்க்ரீனில் பின் பண்ணிவிடுங்க. Thank you. May I now request Professor Srikanth Vedandam to give the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's my pleasant duty to propose the vote of thanks. So we have come to the end of the program. First, I'd like to thank the chief guest, Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan, for graciously coming here and supporting the program. Definitely, our director, Professor Kamakoti, has been a bundle of strength and support for all of us. We'd like to thank him. And certainly all the other hospital authorities who took their time to come here in person and sign the MOUs. We'd like to thank them a lot. Our POPs, of course, they're going to be a great source of support for the program going forward, but they took a lot of valuable time to come here today. Professors Stefan and Venkat, thank you so much. As Professor Krishna Kumar mentioned, you both were pillars of strength for the department as we started. Our press and media colleagues will thank you for disseminating this exciting developments of the department going forward. So thank you for that. And certainly all our faculty colleagues and students and alumni who are here, thank you very much for participating. So with that, we close the program. Thank you.
Thank you. May I now request everyone to rise up for the national anthem.